One, two, three. Very good afternoon from Toronto. Beautiful weather out there for us. It's warming up, and we will see cherry blossom very soon. And this is the time we all rejoice and start enjoying the real Canadian spring. My name is Hamas Siddiqui. I am a global LinkedIn coach, and today there is an awesome guest who has joined me, who is basically an emerging technology expert and the founder of a global platform called Alnafe. At Alnafe, they teach emerging technologies across the board, and they build capacity of anyone who is interested in learning emerging technology to find opportunities at the global platforms because the opportunities are phenomenal. And a lot of us struggle in finding those opportunities because we don't really know. So I would like to actually invite him straight away to jump into our discussion. Uh, and let's welcome Mohammad Faisal Bhai from Markham, not far away from me. Although it's very difficult to find him otherwise, and I'm still struggling to find time to get time for a cup of coffee with him, inshallah, very soon. Faisal Bhai is just such an amazing person, a very knowledgeable professional in the field of emerging technologies, and his passion. When I met him about a year and a half ago, his passion really drove me to to kind of become a bit of part, I would say, of his vision. And his vision was very simple. His vision was that he wants to reach out to everyone who is interested in learning emerging technologies across the globe. And with that vision, the team has created an amazing e-learning platform called Alnafe. And in that platform, there are multiple streams, multiple tracks that people can read. And the best part of this whole thing is that it will be available in 12 languages. It's already available in, like, I think, about 4 or 5 languages. We'll hear from Faisal Saab about this platform. And today's topic is career in blockchain. So we'll first hear from him, his a bit of a story of why did he actually do that, and why did he could have actually be working as a director for cybersecurity or something in maybe one of the Fortune 500 companies. But why did he start this whole initiative? And then we'll talk about the scope of opportunities in several trillion-dollar market in at the global level. So, Faisal Bhai, thank you very much for your time. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Why did you
salam.
start this? Why did you take this whole uh, uh, journey as an entrepreneur, helping other people learn?
So it's a very long story. It all started back in 2008 when I was in Stanford University. Uh, a bit about me. My name is Mohammed Faisal. I'm the founder of the Nafe platform. It's a multilingual global platform where we teach and are utilizing artificial intelligence uh, behind our backs in terms of making sure that education and quality education is accessible to everyone, right? That is why we started this project. I've been working as a CISO, as a CIO already for Fortune 100 companies, and I left that career to start this one because there were multiple reasons, right? And one of the reasons was that when I was in Stanford University, education is only for the select few or the privileged few, right? And uh, while I was sitting there, I was thinking about, and while they were planning to launch and expand their Coursera and edX platforms, which are like basically the academic extension of these, Ivy League universities, right? So you can go to Coursera and edX and do all of these things. My, thought process was completely different. My thought process was like, how can I figure out a way to teach everyone the job description, right? And in those days, I was working as a CISO in the US, in the United States. And this is how this project started in 2008, the idea and the inception. And then, long story short, in 2014, we registered the company. 2018, we launched it. And now we will be reaching our fourth year in June in terms of like completing the fourth year, uh, being a multilingual global platform.
Amazing. And what I understand is this is the only multilingual e-learning platform for this emerging market field. Is that true?
Yes, I mean, right now we are teaching in 13 languages, right? So predominantly, and these languages are spoken by almost 5 billion people. If someone asks me what those languages are, English, Urdu, Hindi. I mean, Hindi alone itself is spoken by a billion people in India, right? Mostly they can speak Hindi as their primary languages, but India also has their local dialects, and we are covering those local dialects as well. Essentially, all the major languages like Urdu, Hindi, Arabic, Japanese, Malaysian, Indonesian, uh, English, I would say Spanish and Portuguese. Spanish is a huge, population spectrum, right? So uh, pretty much we are covering all the continents in the world. And right now there are 13 languages in the pipeline that we are offering. But by the Q4 of this year, this will translate to almost 129 languages.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
that's really huge. That's really, I think this is the vision that you shared with me, that you really want to reach out to every corner of this globe, and this is really amazing, amazing. Anybody who wants to ask question, please get your questions ready because this is your opportunity, and please also share where have you joined in from. I can see some people joining in from Sridhar Saab joining in from Dubai, from Saudi Arabia rather, I think. And he's a CFO, a financial sector professional, very senior. And I think you are also the president of Toastmaster Club as well, Siddhar Saab. So thanks for joining in. And others who have joined in, please share where have you joined in from, and I'll be happy to display your name at in the screen while we continue talking to Faisal Bhai for his amazing initiative that he is pursuing and reaching out to the global community. Eventually, every corner of this globe would have at least one student who has qualified from Al Nafe, and that would really be great. What are some of the technologies, Faisal Bhai, you are teaching at this platform? Before we actually start talking specifically about blockchain, I think uh, audience needs to really understand the overall scope of things that they can do on Alnafa. I'm sure we won't be able to cover everything in this short conversation, but like the basic things that you would like to share with people.
So yes, I mean, our our motto is basically, and our emphasis is teaching people the job description, right? What does that mean? What does that translates into? So globally, the emerging sciences, as per the World Economic Forum report, they are replacing many professions, right? So essentially, all the key professions, like if I have to count them, there are 24, but I'm just going to count some of them, predominant one. Uh, every country is going through a digital transformation right now, correct? And part of the digital transformation, wherever you go in the world, whatever industry you are working in, there are three common elements. And those are, you have to govern the business, you have to minimize the risk, and you have to be compliant with the local legislations or international legislations, whatever those are, to make sure that you're delivering a service, right? Whether those are health and safety or whatever the case is, right? So, uh, all of these things, if I sum it up, this is known as GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, right? Every business needs it. Uh, what we are doing is we are teaching all the key industries. So whether those are like consumer packaged goods, whether those are like IT, telecommunication, you name any of the industries, we're already covering it. So What we're doing is we are teaching people how to work in cybersecurity when you go online, when you go, whether you have to work remotely or on site or whatever the case is, how to become a cybersecurity professional, how to become a blockchain professional, both in public and private. These are two different areas, right? How to work in big data, how to work basically. And the key phrase I'm using is how to work. I'm not teaching you Coursera or edX academic stuff. No. Uh, I'm not teaching you Udemy. No. What we're doing is we are giving you the real systems which are available, right? And these are the same real systems which are being utilized within these organizations. And you can get the hands on skills and all of those things basically, and be able to apply for jobs within 3 to 6 months time. So our graduates are right now working in data science and cybersecurity and offensive security and digital forensics and threat hunting, in big data, in DevOps and SecOps. Augmented reality is another thing that we are working on right now. So there are multiple areas that we are working, right? And we are touching pretty much every technology that is being adopted by companies around the world. And our graduates are right now working in FTSE 500, Fortune 500 companies, right? So they're working in BMW, they're working in Pfizer, they're working in Abbott, they're working at, BP, British Petroleum, British Airways, Virgin. Right now we have 5 people in the span of 3 months working at PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, right? Deloitte, KPMG, you name the company, you will find our graduates. So what we do is we train them, we give them all the things to learn through our system, make sure that what do they have to do in the first 30, 60, 90 days when they go in. And when they're going through the training, we give them a reference letter stating that, this person was doing this. He did all of these roles and responsibilities. He managed projects, etc., etc. And then we let them loose into the industries, right? And we also prepare them their resumes, and what kind of questions they will ask you. So whatever, job opportunity you apply for, we prepare them for that as well. So it's like a complete ecosystem that we have developed in terms of making sure that people are able to, rather than, reinventing the wheel, what we say is like, whatever career you have, whether you're in arts or business or commerce or accounting or electrical or mechanical or electronics or mechatronics, whatever engineering discipline you have, marketing, whatever industry you are in, these technologies are encapsulating the industry. And the reason that these organizations are going through this digital transformation at a mass level is because they want to govern themselves, minimize their risk, and be compliant so that they can keep on delivering the services, right? And there's a huge renaissance happening. And because of the global issues, more and more opportunities are being created. And I'm going to mention those as we talk about blockchain, but that's what we're doing.
Superb. You actually covered everything that somebody like me who is not in emerging technology field, other than be able to use LinkedIn effectively, would need to know exactly how Al Nafe works, and what are the things that we can do and learn from this great platform that you have. So we have, I think, it's fluctuating about 42 people watching this live on my profile, and hopefully more will do so as we go along. This broadcast is going live on my LinkedIn as well as on Al Nafis streaming platform, which is a 24-hour streaming platform, my Facebook page, and my YouTube channel as well. Uh, so I think because there are a couple of questions, I think if we could address those questions as we go along, because if the chat fills up, then I may miss some of those questions. So Vinita, she is a dear friend based out of Manitoba. So what Faisal has explained is these are some of the things that are part of the whole bigger scheme that we have. So anything to do with emerging technology, If anybody is interested in learning and growing and excelling, regardless of what age they are, even I am thinking of doing some of the courses as well. Can register, can enroll at Al Nafe and learn those courses. So thanks for joining in, Vanita. You're a great support always. Wasim, joining in from India. Wasim is a blockchain professional. He's been in blockchain for the past 10 years. He just spoke to me via LinkedIn, and he wanted to join in and wanted to learn more about it. So Wasim, Al Nafe's team is with us. Faisal Bhai is talking to me, although the team is there, and they have shared the link which you can click on and start chatting with individuals now or maybe later whenever you have time. And we will also have your comment available for them to follow up with you. The question Vanita has is, are you creating your own content or have partners?
So, this is a very good question. If I ask everyone over here, do you know about Netflix? They will say yes. Do you know about all the streaming platforms? Disney Plus? They will say yes. Do you know Amazon? You will say yes. So these are the three names I have just named: Amazon, Disney Plus, and Netflix. And then you will have HBO, that's another streaming platform. Then you also have basically some of the other smaller players as well, right? What sets these three major players from others apart is because the content, right? So what sets Netflix? Why is the Netflix the leader in this business? The reason is that they create their own content, right? They are in the business of creating content. They're not in the business of working with the partners. Now, yes, they did bought like many things, like from different libraries, digital libraries, so on and so forth, right? Our ambition and our goal is to become, global content provider, right, in multilingual languages. Why multilingual? I'm going to emphasize on that later on. Uh, to answer the question, we create our own content, right? As I said, I've been in the industry for more than 2 decades. When I was in Stanford, I learned a lot. When I was in MIT, I learned a lot. And while working in the industry, one of the things I've noticed and I've realized is just like all the Ivy League universities, they used to brought in experts from different domains to come and teach and give something to these, to their students, right? And normal universities are not able to do so. So what we did was like we bring in the experts, we partner with these, with these trainers directly, and we provide them precisely what we are looking for, because our goal is not to just keep on just become a marketplace just like Udemy or stuff like that. No, we are about to become a a university in Britain, through which you will be able to apply for a student visa, go there, work there, and after completing your studies, you'll be able to get 2 years work permit as well. Same, because our students are. The goal for us is we wanted to have a platform where people are able to work and have not only the local mobility, the national mobility if they want to work in their countries, but also the global mobility, right? And so for that reason, we are very specific, and we only want. So what we do is like we go out, we look for all the job descriptions, what organizations are looking for. The global organizations like some of these bigger job portals like Indeed, Monster, Simply Hired, and some of the local ones within the different countries. So we go in, we look at the job description. They're asking for XYZ systems. They're asking for these things. Experience in cloud technologies, this. So what we do is we gather all of that, and then we start developing the content as. So as I told you, we teach you the job description. So when you go in, so Junita was like, she's one of the PM, right? Because I saw PMP, right? D'Souza. So when you are managing a financial project, when you're managing a banking project, when you are managing a cloud project, what are the key aspects you have to look for, right? So what we do is like we build up the whole projects, extensive networks, which are load balance on 4 cloud providers and our data center. So we are using Google Cloud Platform. We are using Amazon. We are using Azure. We are using basically, GCP and all AWS. So these are the four ones we are using. And then we also have our own data center as well, right? So we are expanding and building up these systems, and they are becoming in a huge number. Pretty much like in the next 6 months, we will have more than, I would say, 5,000 servers running within our network, right? And to manage them, it requires a lot of basically experience and whatnot. So our goal is to become the Netflix, within the employment sector. So if you are working, for example, if Junita is working on a PCI DSS project for a payment card industry data security standard, right? All the payment processors. So she can learn how to manage the project, understand, what are the key requirements, and go through the whole exercise. And then she can put in her resume, then I did this, manage the whole PCI DSS project for a payment processor, for a financial institute, this. And this is what will take you to the next level and say, okay, now I can manage these projects, or I can manage a cloud, migration project. I can manage, because PMP, I'm just giving you an example. PMP, they are defined by what kind of projects they have managed. So if you get the experience in terms of managing SCADA projects, ICS, robotic process automation, and all these things, you can go into those industries and says, yes, I understand your requirements. I understand your client requirements. I understand what kind of applications you're using, because I've seen and I've worked on those applications. So this is what we are doing, right? So you can essentially say a Netflix is like a waste of time, because people are just procrastinating, essentially. I'm not a member of Netflix or any of these things, but what people do is it's like they keep on wasting time, right? Our goal is to create a platform where people can learn so that they can go, which makes them better to go in with that confidence, and they're able to work within the industry. And that is why we are teaching people and the reason that we are teaching in their own language is just like English is not the first language, right? For out of 7-8 billion people around the world, roughly 1 billion people speak English as a primary language. So Spanish is a huge language, right? Portuguese is a huge language. I mean, you will have a bigger population, populace out there, right? Hindi, Urdu, Malay, Indonesian, Mandarin, German, all of these languages are huge languages, right? So we emphasize on teaching them the content in their own language, right? So that they can understand, they can comprehend. It's just like, you're watching a multilingual movie, right? So if you watch a Chinese movie dubbed into, English or something, or in your own language, you will have that experience. You will be able to understand and connect. But if you watch it in Chinese, you won't be able to understand, right? So what we have done is we have translated. There's an army of professionals translating and transcribing. These are transcribers, right? And they do that so that we can provide you the content and teach you, because these same projects, because all the countries are going through the digital transformation. And if you learn these things, this will help you in terms of understanding, okay, if I want to be part of the digital transformation in my own country, or if I need the mobility, I can, I want to go there as well. So that's what we're doing.
Thank you very much, Fazlai. By the way, Vanita is, I usually call it in a lighter mode, partner in crime with me. We are working together on a potential project, and she came to Canada about 30 years ago, approximately. I think, Vanita, please correct me if I'm wrong. While she was working at IBM, and she's very well connected and within the community here in Manitoba, and so together we are kind of trying to build some kind of a project. But she could be a nice connection for Al Nafe to nurture, really. A very warm welcome to my friend Matthias from Chile. Matthias is a supply chain expert, senior professional, and an awesome professional. The question we have is from Wasim. Is there any class for the French language also? Will there
Yes,
be?
we are teaching in French as well.
All right, awesome. So while there may be more questions as we go along in our conversation, But I think giving an overview was really, really important for all the audience to really understand what Al Nafi is, why did you start it, and what our long-term vision is for this great initiative. So, what I would like to ask Fazlbhai, is, what blockchain is doing, how the global ecosystem is changing and adopting blockchain. What are, I mean, I know it's a long question, it's like a layman's question. So if I come and say, I really want to study blockchain, but what are the opportunities out there? So in a simple word, how would you explain that?
So there are common, in today's world, as per the World Economic Forum report, there are 5 technologies everyone needs to learn. If they don't learn, whether you're working in, like Matthias is, he's working in basically supply chain, whether you're in supply chain, entertainment industry, wherever you are, right? Whatever, I mean, on this face of planet, whatever you're doing, you need to learn some of these 5 technologies, right? We can talk about those 5 technologies later on, but one of them is blockchain, right? But if you don't know these 5, then you will be in, I mean, you can be replaced. You will be replaced. Not, I should say, you will be replaced, right? Because the way the businesses are digitally transforming themselves, you will be replaced. So to give you an example of supply chain, right? Supply chain is a huge integral, backbone of this planet Earth, right? If we have to remain on the planet Earth, this is the most important aspect. Um, as we all know, there's a war going on in Ukraine, and one of the key aspects that all of these countries are going through is basically, the grain shortage, because around 30% of the global wheat comes from Ukraine and Russia combined, right? So Ukraine is known as the breadbasket of Europe, right? It's a huge area, very strategically very important. So any of these countries around the world, normally they keep 3 months of reserve. So US has 3 months of reserve of wheat. Pakistan is the same thing. India has more because it's a much bigger country. China has 1.5 years of wheat reserve. So you can see supply chain is being impacted by the global politics and by the global events, right? It is impacting, and these events, they create new opportunities for digital transformation, and organizations are going through it, and also creates great misery as well uh, on the local populace wherever it is happening, right? So if we just talk about one of the main aspects is basically the global opportunities for this event. Uh, One of the things that we have to understand is just like supply chain. One of the key elements in supply chain is just like, how are you sourcing it? Where is it coming from? How are you transporting it? Like there's a complete ecosystem. And once it is being delivered to to the consumer, and in what shape or form it is being delivered, right? So to secure this whole supply, the chain elements, one of the things that you need is blockchain. So if someone asks me what is blockchain, if someone asks you, and if you have to explain to him like what is blockchain, why do I need blockchain? And as I was setting the stage in the beginning, in this world you need 3 key elements. In this whole world, these are the 3 key elements. In our lives, we need it. In our organizations, we need it. In our families, we need it. We need it in our families, even in our families as well. No matter what we do, we need these 3 key elements. We have to govern things. We have to minimize the risk, whatever we are doing, whatever decisions we are making. And we have to be compliant, right? As a Muslim, I comply myself with with Islamic teachings, right? This is how I've been since I was 15. I mean, this is how I've been as a CISO, as a CIO as well of major organizations. So the face doesn't matter. I mean, what matters is just like, what skills do you have and what knowledge do you have that you can deliver to the organization. So one of the things is that blockchain is a technology that can provide you confidentiality. It can provide you integrity of whatever you're doing. It can provide you availability, that the information is available at you, for you wherever you are, and non-repudiation. Non-repudiation means like no one can deny that you received the message. I mean, you did receive the message. Like just like on WhatsApp, when someone reads your message, you get the 2 ticks, right? So we get the 2 ticks right over there. So, as per the World Economic Forum report, and I will keep on using that as my source because this is the organization that goes into all around the world, study the economics, the economical patterns, gather data, and then they make decisions. Right? Uh, the global GDP of all 190 countries, give or take, there are 190 countries in the world, roughly 200, right? Countries and territories. Uh, the combined GDP is $85 trillion. It's a huge number, right? Now, what is the importance of blockchain? 10% of the global GDP by 2025 will be locked into blockchain. So you can see 10% of the global, that means $8.5 trillion of global GDP around the world will be protected and will be preserved through blockchain, will be verified through blockchain. So if you're in supply chain, if you're in media or entertainment or arts, if you're in accountancy, no matter what sector you are in, you will be required to secure it, to be compliant, minimize the risk, minimize the fraud and all those kinds of things through blockchain. So that is the importance of blockchain. It's a huge piece of technology through which globally everyone is changing themselves and they are morphing their economies, right? And this will be the case. And in the next 10, 15 years, half of the global GDP will be protected by GRC, basically by blockchain technology. So blockchain organizations are right now morphing through it because blockchain is not only in supply chain. Blockchain technology is wherever you need things to be protected from cyber incidents or from any of those things, from fraud, keeping information confidential and compliant, keeping information in, the integrity intact, and keeping information available. This is where blockchain comes in. It's a huge piece. So that's what the blockchain really is.
Superb, superb. And so, I mean, tell me, Falbe, somebody like me, if so, I'm an economist, as you know, I hardly know technology. If I want to be part of this learning stream and I would learn blockchain, uh, what do I need to know first? What would be my starting point? Can an accountant learn blockchain? I know more technical side of people probably would be able to learn it, but you also talked about media. You know, who are the people who could learn blockchain in a simple words?
Any of the people in any industry, like entertainment, media, sciences, government services, like, if they want to preserve the integrity of the information or the passports or the ID cards or whatever they have, wherever you need protection, wherever you need compliance, to minimize corruption, wherever you need any of these controls, so that like in the media industry, no one can steal your stuff. You can apply blockchain to secure it, right? So blockchain is a security technology. It's one of the things. As I said, there are 5 things, and one of them is blockchain. There are 4 another. We can talk about this some other day in some other stream, but one of them is blockchain. Now, if, for example, if you're an accountant, right, or you want to make sure that in accountancy or in finance, you want to make sure that the risk of any fraudulent activity within the financial books is minimized, right? You can use that blockchain technology to secure it. So you can learn the technology. Now, learning part, I will cover it later on, right? Now, if you're in supply chain and you want to make sure that we have some kind of solution through which we can source and verify the suppliers, who's supplying us these products, are they verified? What is the integrity of those suppliers? Where is it coming from? How are we receiving it? In what time frame are we receiving it? Right? What is the value? What was the value that they quoted? What is the value that this person quoted? And by the time that it comes to me for pricing control, right? One of the problems in Asian countries is just like, corruption, right? So they keep on changing the price. They keep on manipulating the price, right? So all of these things, in any industry you are, as I said, media, entertainment, you name me any industry in the world, and I will show you a use case of how blockchain can be used. Any industry, nothing. As I said, blockchain is a kind of technology out of these four, out of the five, one of the technologies blockchain. It is so important that it is going to it is already revolutionizing many things. I mean, in the press we only hear about cryptocurrencies and this is where the blockchain is being used. That's one sliver of it. The whole crypto market may be a couple of $1 billion around the world, right? Bitcoin and all these currencies, and this is all pure speculation and whatnot, right? And I would never, recommend anyone to buy bitcoins and stuff like that, right? Because you'll be losing money, someone will be making money on your misery, right? Or vice versa. So don't do that. There's no control. But organizations are utilizing blockchain to safeguard themselves. This is what they're doing, right? So essentially, now the question is who can learn, and what are the key roles? In blockchain, we need, project managers. We need blockchain analysts. We need front-end developers, back-end developers. We need data scientists in the blockchain. We need AI guys in the blockchain. We need security guys on the blockchain. So there are more than 25 to 30 areas that I can count, right? In terms of how you can learn blockchain and you can infuse it. So if Matthias is able to, or Unita is able to learn blockchain, she can manage the whole portfolio in her company or wherever she's working, in terms of making sure that blockchain technologies are being implemented. Like, you mentioned Hamad at IBM, right? She came from IBM, right? IBM have their own blockchain, private blockchain network. So there are 4 companies who have their private blockchain network. There are other companies as well. The major 4 cloud providers. AWS, the biggest one, Amazon. Azure is the second biggest one. There's IBM, and then GCP just recently jumped in and they're building up their network. So essentially, there are other organizations as well. Many multinationals are creating their own blockchain networks as well to securely manage and all those kinds of things. So anyone can learn blockchain by studying 60 to 90 hours, 100 hours maximum. They will learn how to develop the application. And once they understand how to develop the application and what are the use cases, because we go through all the key use cases of all the key industries, automotive, robotic process automation, energy sector, agricultural, I mean, you name it, we are covering all the key industries, right? And if you want to work in those industries, we teach you all the key standards that they're struggling with, what they have to comply with, where's the data coming from, what are the key systems that they have. And then we teach you how to develop the application and then how to infuse this application with it so that you can go in and say, yes, I can work as a blockchain architect, as a blockchain storyteller of how and what your journey will be and how you will roll this out. And then blockchain success experts, which is like organizations are developing their teams to go to the consumers and tell them so that they have confidence that whatever they're buying it from, it is secure and compliant, right? I mean, people are getting very, very price conscious, very product conscious. Where is this product really coming from? What is the source? Was there any child labor involved? Is it organic? All those kinds of things, right? The most important to me is like child labor. If it's through child labor, that's a wrong solution for us, right? Organic or inorganic comes later on. So these are the key things that industries and companies are thinking, because I mean, they should not be, I mean, normally they don't pay attention to these things, but consumers are making them pay attention.
Yeah.
So the consumer is pushing the industry to secure themselves. The sourcing information needs to be there. So show me the source. The blockchain can show you that. The complete ledger will be there. So customers can go in and they can have this comfort. Yes, I'm sourcing it from a place which are following sustainability and all those kinds of principles, which are dear to me, or whatever the thought process that they follow, right? So that's what the blockchain is really doing.
Awesome. So there are several questions, and then I'm sure your team is also with us, and they will be responding to those specific questions that people are asking, and those are mostly related to how they can join in and stuff like that. My question to you is now somebody is interested in joining in Al Nafe, enrolling and there are 14 tracks, as I understand, 14 different
16, right?
tracks.
We have 24, 16.
Sorry?
16. There are
16.
16 right now that we enabled, but there are 24 in total.
Right. So that's quite a large number. Um, what should be the starting point? I mean, if somebody is really interested, so blockchain is of course part of a track, but what should they really be like looking for? It's like, just to give you an example, if somebody is ill, unfortunately, going to a hospital, and I'm talking about private hospitals, you need to understand who is the doctor that you need to see. So who is that doctor at Al Nafe that anybody should see first for the first consultation?
For the first consultation, well, I said I can only speak a couple of languages. My French is broken because I'm learning French along with my kids. The Arabic is something I'm mastering it right now. The other language I can speak is Pashto, which is a regional language in Pakistan, and then Urdu, which is like similar to Hindi and English, right? So uh, what we are doing is I'm the key point person because the vision that I had was basically is that one of the reasons that I started this thing was uh, people who can speak English, they have every opportunity in the world to avail and be successful, right? But what about countries in Asia, in Middle East, in South America, in Central America, North America? I mean, if you go out of G20 countries, you will see a lot of poverty, right? And all of those kinds of things. There's a lot of corruption and many other things going on, right? So that is why what we do is like we dub our lectures, and what we do is like I'm creating a whole series of lectures. What should people in Mexico should do? There are more than a million opportunities right now in blockchain, in cybersecurity, in offensive security, in digital forensics, in SCADA, and many other areas, right? In big data, artificial intelligence, all these areas. A million opportunities. These are international companies over there. They're looking for people, but people don't know where to, study these courses. Keep one thing in mind. Uh, you cannot learn anything from YouTube. You can have entertainment, yes. You can waste your time because the person who's showing you the content is making revenue through by showing you the adverts, right? So his goal is to create an engaging content so that you can keep on coming back and keep on watching again the same thing and hook into those things, right? That is procrastination. That is wasting time. The system that we have created is just like it allows you to go in, start learning these technologies, and we have created multiple videos where to start, how much time you should invest in, and in the next 3 months time, 6 months times, where you should apply for the jobs, right? And we help you one by one in terms of writing down the resume. Now, this is another thing that we have done is like people who can't pay the fee in Islam, there's a system known as Qard al-Hasana. Qard al-Hasana in Arabic means, interest-free loan, right? So we give you interest-free loan on a good faith. There is no credit check or anything like that. No, in Islam we don't. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the teachings that we follow, hasn't ordered us to go in and ask their credit check reports and stuff like that. No, we don't do that. We say, okay, you know, we believe you, we accept your, you can study. Whatever minimum you can pay the minimum fee. If you can't pay $100 a month, you can pay a minimum fee because there's a lot of cloud cost involved. If you can't even pay the fee, we can give you for free, right? For on a month by month basis, we will monitor your progress and whatnot. And what we have done is like 99.99% of the time when there's a 0.01% that we have, that we had problem with. But 99.99%, which is like the 4 nines that we wanted to have, is when people started studying on Qard al-Hasana, interest-free loan, uh, within 3 to 6 months time, they were securing jobs. So they started paying us back. They said, you know what? I'm going to pay you back because I got the job. I'm working at PwC. I never even imagined to work in PwC. I'm working at Deloitte, because I never knew what words to speak over there while sitting for the interview. You give me not only those words in my mouth, but also the skills I needed to go there and and basically work there, right? So this is what we're doing. So anyone here, as I said, you don't need to learn these emerging technologies, you don't need to reinvent yourself by saying, you know what, I'm going to leave accountancy, HR, project management, supply chain, and I'm going to go over into this computer sciences part. No, that's the wrong approach. You don't need that. Because remember, all the wisdom you have gathered over the years, 30, like Unita is like, Miss D'Souza is working within the industry for a long time, you know. So, and I saw some other names as well. Miss Dashi, she has been working in the industry for a long time, right? So there is no need for her to say, you know what, I'm going to leave everything and I'm going to reinvent myself again. No, you have to build upon the existing foundation you have, same, a much more stronger, career. And this is where industries are looking for, because they need HR experts. They need project managers. I mean, project managers, HR experts, and accountants, and all of these different supply chain analysts. Uh, their discipline will not fade away. No, the technology is being infused in their disciplines to make it much more productive and effective. But if they don't know that technology, how to use it, how to understand it, how to comply with it, how to translate it into business requirements so that organizations can adopt it, they will replace you, they will get someone else. Right? So this is I have to be very straightforward,
That's
but
that's
that's what is being happening.
Yes, this is exactly what it is. And by the way, a little bit about my own course. So my LinkedIn course that I developed specifically for Al Nafi student is also part of all the tracks that are there, which is helping a lot of students securing opportunities. As I always say, don't treat LinkedIn as a job portal, treat it as an opportunity platform. I say the same thing for Al Nafe, by the way. Al Nafe is an opportunity platform, and the opportunity of the kind that you would not find anywhere else, because it is not only about registering on an e-learning platform and doing a course and getting a certificate at the end. You are actually getting credentials that are recognized, and through those credentials and experiences that you get, you actually find opportunities. So this is what is happening on Alnafe. What I would suggest everyone who is with us today and will be watching this video later on, please connect with the Al Nafe team at stream@alnafe.org for further information, and they will be happy to respond to your specific inquiries. Um, if you are really enthusiastic enough to grow yourself in any profession, be a media professional or an accountant or supply chain professional, uh, blockchain and the tracks that Alnafe is offering are going to add amazing value to your future careers. We will keep bringing Faisal by whenever he has 45 minutes to an hour for us to help us keep understanding how emerging technologies are reshaping the future of jobs. And the future of jobs has already reshaped quite a bit after pandemic, as we all know. But you rightly said, infusing technology into your current career will definitely enhance the opportunities to grow faster. So, Faisal bhai, thank you very much for your time today, and this has been such a pleasure to listen to you, to get those golden nuggets that you just shared today. I hope I hope people will follow, and I can actually right now share with you that this broadcast has already been shared. I think when I last checked, more than 25 times. So it's like 26 times this broadcast has been shared. 414 views so far in the last 1 hour, and 60 comments. So this is the power of LinkedIn. This is the power of information that we share on LinkedIn. So
I
with
just
that,
wanted to share one,
Ji,
just
please go ahead.
share one when you mentioned, right? So one of the things that you mentioned was just like your LinkedIn course, right? All of our students, all of our students who found jobs in Canada, in Germany, in France, in UK, in US, in Pakistan, in India, and in Middle East, and even like in Africa, except I mean Antarctica because there are only penguins there. There are no polar bears, they're just penguins, right? All of those people, they found jobs through LinkedIn because LinkedIn is such a great platform where organizations are hunting for talent, right? So that it's a kind of platform where the hunter becomes the hunted, right? So if you're hunting for something, if you have good credentials, then the HR guys will certainly hunt for you, and they are looking for the talent, right? Globally, as I said, blockchain is one of those technologies where, like, you can you imagine like 10% of the global GDP by 2025 is being locked into blockchain, right? So that's $8.5 trillion. That's like the G7 countries GDP combined. It's not even, you know, something like that. It will come up to that, right? So you can imagine there are more global opportunities and whatnot. And as I said, LinkedIn is the core platform where these HR folks are looking for people who have the skills, who have the experience, who have done the projects, and they're looking for them. And the base salary that starts is, with uh, with few projects of experience is more than $100,000, right? Normally 120, $150,000 in North America. In UK, it starts at 80,000 pounds and above because there's a talent crunch going on, right? In organizations, they need to adopt these technologies faster. So you have a great opportunity. And one of the reasons I brought Hamad, on Anafe was basically uh, the missing link was, yes, we're giving them the skills. Yeah, they have the skills, but how can they utilize these skills to look for the opportunities? But at the same time, other people are looking for them, right? So that was another key aspect that we brought him. And just yesterday, Sayyid Batal, one of the students who went on a student visa in Germany from Pakistan, right? He was able to secure a job at PwC in 65,000 euros. That's a good starting career for a student who went on a 65,000 euro. So I would suggest, like, if you already have experience like Ms. Dashi, Unita, and all these other Matthias and all these other folks, they can be extremely successful. This our student Bafo from Ghana is also basically going through uh, our studies. So the reason that we are opening a college in Anafe College of University of Emerging Sciences, Anafe College of Emerging Sciences in the UK, is because we will not only be teaching them these technologies, the academic stuff, but also the same stuff. Because like one of the key elements which is missing around the world is like the schools are failing to prepare good candidates for the college. The colleges are preparing, and giving them the students the skills so that they can be employable in the industry and be good citizens. So all of these areas are missing, right? And what we have done is just like we are providing you and teaching you the job description from day one. As we say, we teach you the job description from day one, right? So no matter what your social status is, no matter what your religion or creed or whatever you follow, we are open to everyone. And our goal is that 85 trillion dollars. I mean, half of the global GDP goes to these G20 countries. But can you imagine the remaining countries? And these are just out of 190. If you take out 20 of them, the remaining are 170. So the 170 countries' GDP is 15% of the total GDP of the world, right? So 25%. The remaining 75 resides with the G20 countries. However, if you start employing and deploying these technologies in the remaining 170 countries, you can blow things out of proportion. And the next war that will be fought will be on human resource, right? So because human resource, if you know these technologies, these countries will be coming and pick you up. They're looking for people. They're looking for talent, right? And LinkedIn is a platform where they can pick you up. Thank you. This is all I
Thank you
want to
very
say.
much, Faisal, for your time and all the information. The next topic will be our university in UK, and we'll talk about it in next 2 to 3 weeks time. And we would like to actually share how that project is coming up and what are some of the opportunities. So with that, everyone who has joined us from India, Pakistan, and Ghana, and many other countries, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Canada, USA, thank you very much for joining in, and keep coming back, keep sharing great information that is out there.